In 2008, one man bet against the entire housing market and won. They made a movie about him. Now he is back. And this time he has bet over $1 billion that the biggest story in the world is a lie. He thinks artificial intelligence is a car crash, seconds before it happens. This is not a story about whether AI is real. It is a story about a number. Because Michael Burry, the man who reads balance sheets for a living, found something hidden inside the books of the most valuable companies on earth. To understand the bet, you have to understand the man. Michael Burry does not go on television. He does not post hot takes. He sits with thousands of pages of filings, alone, until he finds the one number everyone else skipped. In 2008, that habit made him a fortune and a legend. Here is the bet, straight from his filings. His fund holds about $1.1 billion. He put 80% of it into a single idea. The largest wager against Palantir. The second against Nvidia. Not a hedge, a conviction. We have seen this before. In 2007, while the world called him crazy, he sat alone reading the fine print nobody else would open. He saw the math break before anyone. So when he says it again, you do not laugh. You ask what he found. So far, the scoreboard is split. Palantir, his biggest target, has already fallen more than 30%. There he is winning. But Nvidia did the opposite. It kept climbing, and that bet is deep in the red. One hand winning, one hand losing. Which means the real story is underneath them both. Because Burry is not betting that AI is useless. He is betting that the profits are fake, not the technology, the accounting. He says these companies use a quiet trick to look far richer than they really are. Here is the trick. When a company buys $1 billion of AI chips, it does not count the cost at once. It spreads it across the years it claims they will last. Lately, they claim 6. But ask any engineer and these chips are burned out in 2. Stretch the clock, and today's costs vanish, while today's profits magically appear. And it is not only the chips. Add in the stock these firms quietly hand their own staff, and Burry says the market is more expensive today than it was in 1999, right before the last great crash. By the numbers, he is right. The books really are stretched. And to be fair, he is probably right about some of them. A few of these names are priced for a perfection that will never arrive. When that gap closes, it will hurt. But being right that something falls is not the same as being right that everything does. But here is where we break with him. There is one number he cannot put in a spreadsheet. Demand. He is reading the cost of AI perfectly. What he is underpricing is how fast the entire world is about to start using it. Watch what is actually happening. AI is leaving the chat box and becoming an agent. Software that does not just answer you, it works for you. Writes the code, runs the operation while you sleep. That is not a demo, it is a workforce. And a workforce gets bought at any price. Then comes the second wave. The same intelligence steps out of the screen and into the world as robots. Factories, warehouses, hands that never tire. When that lands, demand for these chips does not bend. It explodes. The thing Burry calls a bubble becomes the most real business on earth. Step back and the picture flips. Every agent, every robot, every factory that wakes up runs on the very chips he is betting against. The harder the world leans in, the more the demand he calls a bubble turns into the floor under the entire market. So here is the verdict. Burry is right about the price. The books are stretched, and some of these names will fall hard. But he is wrong about the ending. He bet the demand runs out just as it is about to go mainstream. He found a real crack. He just bet too early. Do not follow the legend. Follow the math. Claw strike. Decoding the AI revolution.